Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Plane. How are we all doing? I'm so honored to be sharing in frequency and love with you all on this day, which happens to be my solar return day. We are in the 28th day of June, and it is also the day that the moon meets with Aries North Node, marking the quarter moon. So we're just about exactly a week from our Cancer new moon. We're going to talk a little bit about the Cancer new moon today, but I'm going to have another video where we talk more about that because we have some other energies coming in to play with as we lead into this Cancer new moon. One of the first pieces that I'm going to be opening us up to is that tomorrow, the 29th of June, Saturn in Pisces at the 19th degree will turn around and station retrograde and begin moving retrograde. This is putting Saturn let me feel how this wants to be said. This is putting Saturn into a grand water trine with the coming Cancer new moon. It's also helping to lay foundations for the really powerful dynamics that we're navigating during this Cancer season. We had that Capricorn full moon the day after the solstice, which is being bookended with a Capricorn full moon just before we move into Leo season. So we get 2 Capricorn full moons this season. And to feel that right in the middle of this Saturn, which rules Capricorn turns retrograde, we really are playing with our foundations. How we build upon the karmic lessons that we incarnate with, how we transform and evolve through them. It's being highlighted through the only Cancer moon that we have this entire year, the Cancer new moon, which is happening on the 5th or 6th of July. We can feel how community, our sense of belonging, the way that we make others feel like they belong, are really, really strong. This is where we're being asked to explore. Where do we isolate self? Where do we isolate others? Where do we judge self? Where do we judge others? These are all of the ways in which we are navigating this energy. Now, at the moment of Saturn's retrograde and through this new moon cycle, there is an opposition happening with Saturn, and this opposition is with Juno and Sekhmet. The exactness is Juno, though, in Virgo. Virgo is a sign of wholeness and purification, and Juno is divine mother energy, in particular nurturing mother energy, coming into hold space. And Juno is also the patron goddess of the month of June, in which this is all occurring. So we have June and July, and as Saturn moves retrograde in opposition to Juno, we are in the month of June, the very end of. Sekhmet is about seated courageously in her power and also about slaying demons. So here we can see it's being held as we come into a greater sense of empowered belonging, allowing ourselves to fully be seen and witnessed. And this is part of that Jupiter navigation through Gemini that's happening this entire year until next June. So it's expanding our ability to fully express ourselves. Now, this is being even more impacted because on July 2nd, Neptune at the 29th degree of Pisces is turning retrograde. So we have Saturn, and then a couple of days later in the same sign, Pisces, Neptune starting their backwards dance. This is happening on the exact same day that Mercury, the messenger of the gods, shifts from Cancer into Leo. So as Neptune starts to move backwards in trine, Mercury gifts a new perspective, a new way of expressing self. And Neptune is all about finding new vision, seeing things in a different way. As Saturn moves through this retrograde and Neptune moves through this retrograde, which is going to last basically the rest of this year, we are being gifted an invitation to explore our inner world in connection with the outer world and how we navigate what we build from knowing where we've come from and where we can go. So, I mentioned that today is my birthday. One of the things that I really like to do on my birthday is to gift things. And one of the gifts that I have been asked to give is to open up the new moon circle for this Cancer new moon to the entire Blue Flame community. So that means anyone who comes over to the Patreon and joins as a tiered member, whether that's the tier that's $0 or the tier that's $73 or the $7 or the $37 or the $44, any of the tiers within that space, the circle that we're going to hold for this Cancer new moon is going to be open, and we're all going to get to explore these energies together. Now, the energies in particular that we're going to explore are a cardinal grand cross that is being made by this new moon. And I'm going to talk more about that in a few minutes because there's another piece. And it's that this new moon is conjunct the stellar dimension of Sirius. This is the stellar dimension that is most often associated with Isis, with Christ consciousness, with the white light, that white light with blue frequency, diamond consciousness. It is the soul star to our soul star. So our sun, the star of our solar system, which our soul star chakra connects into, Sirius, the stellar dimension of, is what the center of our sun connects to. So it really invites us to come into a higher expression of self. While this is happening, I'm going to be, you may notice I'm in a new location today. Right now, I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I'm getting ready to head to Mexico. And during the new moon, I'll be in a little town in the Yucatan called Izamal, also known as the City of Hills. And it is one of the oldest pre-Columbian Mayan temple villages, Mayan civilizations. We are going to, during the circle, we're actually not going to meet on the new moon itself. We're going to meet on the 7/7 portal, which is the day that we celebrate the conjunction between the sun and the stellar dimension of Sirius. The number 7 is that mystical energy of we've come through the tipping point, we're going even further. It is exploring our capacity to attain greater wisdom. It is also very connected to luck and mysticism. So on the 7-7 portal from the Yucatan, we are going to gather in communion of these diamond consciousness energies. There will be a transmission, and as always during these new moon circles, a light activation will come through, this time held via the grid point of Isamal through our soul star, through Sirius. So we're really going to be working with this energy. And I mentioned that there's a cardinal grand cross for this new moon, Sirius, the moon, and the sun in Cancer, bringing us into a rebirthing of our outward expression through our making space and communing with our unconscious. Making space for and communing with our unconscious. I mentioned that Sirius is very connected to Isis. In Capricorn, we do have Isis retrograde, a little bit off from exactly opposite this new moon, but close enough, especially since we have Ceres, goddess of the harvest, of bringing in, sowing seeds of the new, coming into greater relationship with that which we take into our beings, is at 14 degrees, so exactly across. And Ceres is retrograde, so it's really about what are we taking in? What are we taking in? So we get to play with that energy. It is also this new moon making a cross with the north and south nodes in Aries and Libra. I mentioned that today on the 28th, we actually have the moon conjunct the north node. So it's helping lay the foundation, set the groundwork for exploring how we can bring our unconscious to the surface and let that part of it which is true become our outward expression, help us to walk our true path. I also have another gifting, which is that just before I left for this trip, we had a new fun little thing happening over in the members portal, and that is again open for the entire community in the Patreon. It is a daily draw. So every day while I have been on this journey so far and continuing as this journey of sacred site continues, I will be drawing a tarot or oracle card, and we will work together. We will explore how it is sharing its energy, helping us to divine what to expect over the course of the 24-hour cycle in which that particular card or cards are active. Again, there'll be links below if you want to come over and check out the Blue Flame community and see what is on offer there. Yesterday, as we started the move from San Diego to Arizona, the card that came through was the Fool, which is of course that energy of the wandering minstrel, that wandering God, that exploring creative childlike wonder. And so it felt really perfect. Feel if there's another piece that wants to drop in here. I was guided that I'm going to have another video when I arrive in Mexico that I'll share with us here on the YouTube, talking more about the Cancer new moon, in part because the time that we spend together in Isamal is really going to be focused on that Sirius gateway energy. And so we'll have another video that we dive more into this Cancer new moon in a few days so that we can start laying those foundations. But it felt really important to share this gifting with you in this moment on this day of my solar return, and to invite each and every one of you to start to feel how you're being asked to revisit your karmic exploration, your karmic cycle, your relationship to the foundations that you are currently existing within, and your sense of belonging within them. So that as we move through the month of July and come towards that next Capricorn full moon, we are actually coming into a place where we're ready to start to plant and build from that, from those cornerstones that we've placed. Let's sit together just for a few moments as I allow any next little pieces that feel called to drop in, I invite you to connect with your breath. Perhaps even allow your feelers to expand out and connect into this area of the Sonoran Desert, this city we call Tucson, Arizona, here in the United States. Feel how this ancient land, this ancient desert land, asks us to feel the strength and resiliency of life. That ability to store what is needed to be stored and to release that which is needed to be released. The desert is a very powerful medicine for that. It's one of the reasons that the medicines that grow in the desert, like sage, like the cacti, ayahuasca, are so powerful at helping us to purge and release, is because the desert knows what to save and what to release. If you held all that heat, it would not survive, it would not serve. The agave would not grow strong if it didn't know how to hold the water that it needs and release the sugars that it does not. It's about how we navigate our environment. It's about how we navigate our environment. This is a very, very, very strong energetic aspect of this Capricorn full moon, blue moon cycle book ending the Cancer new moon Sirius gateway. Okay, I got one final little piece and then we're going to close. And that was, we had the first Capricorn full moon during the energies of the solstice, summer or winter, depending on where you're located. We have the Cancer new moon during and exactly conjunct the stellar dimension of Sirius, so during the Sirius gateway portal. And we have the Capricorn full moon, the second one, the blue moon, as we are coming into the feast day of the Magdalena, just before we move, the sun moves from that open, nurturing, womb-like embrace of Cancer into the boisterous, I am here energy of Leo. So we can really, we're being invited to feel how this is the gestation of the birthing cycle. Again, it would be amazing to welcome whomever and all of you who are called to come and join us for the Sirius Gateway transmission. There will be links below. I would love to hear in the comments what you're feeling during this very, very, very magical womb space that we're navigating. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you're feeling right now. And this is Cancer. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? And if you have not already, please do like and subscribe. Please do like and subscribe. And as always, in the always, with so much and many loves to you, from, through, and beyond the all dimensions. Thank you.